V curves and inverted V curves. So changing the excitation of a synchronous motor, keeping the load constant. So the curve plotting between DC field current and armature current, AC armature current is called a V curve. So clearly V curve, DC field current and AC armature current IA. It is a V curve. Why it is called V curve? Because the shape of this curve is like a alphabet V. So it is called V curve. Similarly, when you draw the curve between power factor and field current, field DC field current IF. So this curve is called inverted V curve. So the shape of this curve is a inverted alphabet V shape. So it is called inverted V curve. Let us see in details. So by increasing the field current IF beyond a certain limit of the minimum armature current IA, so this is called leading PF. It is also called overexcited synchronous motor. On the other hand, the field current decreasing below the level of the minimum armature current. So it is under lagging PF. So therefore, by controlling the field current, DC field current, the reactive power can be supplied or can be consumed from the synchronous motor. So the reactive power can be controlled from the synchronous motor by varying the field current. So therefore, changing the field current or DC excitation, the synchronous motor can be used like a condenser, capacitor or inductor, which is called rotating condenser or rotating inductor. Let us see the more details. So observe the vector diagram here. You can see the vector diagram. Observe here, this is terminal voltage VT and this is excitation voltage VF. Keeping the load constant but any load, keeping the load constant. So what is the voltage equation? VT is equal to, observe here, VT is equal to EF plus EF1 plus IA1 XS. So this is one vector diagram. Similarly, EF2 is equal to, observe here, VT is equal to another EF2 IA2 XS. VT is equal to EF3 IXS. Okay, so let us remove these red marks. Now, at a particular excitation, say EF1. So VT is equal to EF1, IA1 XS. Now I am increasing the excitation from EF1 to EF2. When I increase the excitation, field excitation, EF1 to EF2, what happens? So what happens? Observe here, IA, IA1 XS. IA1 XS, this is always basic things, 90 degrees to IA vector. Okay, so when I increase excitation from EF1 to EF2, so what happens? This is IXS now. Okay, so it has to satisfy the voltage equation. VT is equal to EF2 IA2 XS. So this, for this, where is the IA vector? IA vector 90 degrees to IA2 XS. Observe here, this is IA2. Okay, so IA1 vector is 90 degrees to IA1 XS. IA2 vector is 90 degrees to IA2 XS. Similarly, still if you increase from EF2 to EF3, so what happens? IA3, this is IA3 XS. IA3 XS, this is 90 degrees to IA3. Observe here, 90 degrees to IA3. Okay, so let us remove this. Right. Now when I increase the excitation from EF1 to EF2, what happens? IA1, the current, armature current reduces from IA1 to IA2. The power factor angle reduces theta 1 to here. This is not shown theta 2 because IA2 is in phase with VT here. Observe here, IA2 is in phase with VT. Okay, so the current is reduced, power factor angle theta is reduced. So when theta is reduced, what happens? Power factor? Power factor increases. So maximum power factor you will get at IA2 because IA2 is in phase with VT. Okay. Now, if I still increase from EF2 to EF3, what happens? IAXS3 like this. So IA2 changes, IA armature current changes from IA2 to IA3. So now IA3 is leading with respect to VT. Observe here. IA3 is leading with respect to VT. So this is over-excited synchronous motor. So the motor will operate under leading power factor. Okay. So then observe here carefully. Excitation is increasing from EF1 to EF2, EF2 to EF3. So let us remove this red marks. Now see. So I'm increasing from EF1 to EF2 to EF2 to EF3, but observe this locus. Okay, EF is changing. Similarly, delta 1 reduces to delta 2, delta 2 reduces to delta 3. So EF is changing, delta is changing, but the product will be the constant. So that is why our EF1 will be, the locus of EF1 will be like this. Okay, because power is constant, XS is constant, VT is constant, but armature current is changing. Okay, so the EF sin delta is constant at any, whatever may be the excitation, this is constant. Okay, so let us remove this red marks. Right. Now observe the current. So this is the current locus. Observe here, locus of the current. So current is changing from IA1 to IA2, IA2 to IA3. Power factor is increasing. So observe here, the power factor is increasing from this point to this point. From here, the power factor is reducing. Okay, from this point, the power factor is reducing. Whereas current is initially it is reducing. Again, from this point, it is increasing. Okay, so means as going on increases the excitation, current reduces, minimum current, and again current increases. Still, if going on increases the excitation, current increases. The minimum current occurs at unity power factor. So observe here this locus, current is changing, power factor is changing, but product will be the constant because P is equal to VT IA cos phi. Power is constant, whereas when changing the excitation, armature current is changing, power factor is changing, but the product of current and power factor will be constant. Now let us see the, remove these red marks. So this is the locus of current, armature current, and this is locus of EF. You can see here, locus of EF, because EF sin delta is constant. Now this is normal excitation when IA2 is in phase with VT. So this normal excitation. So below this under excitation. So below this under excited synchronous motor. Above this over excited synchronous motor. You can see over excited synchronous motor. So under excited synchronous motor, over excited synchronous motor, normal excitation. Now observe. Okay, as going on increasing the excitation, DC field current excitation, armature current is reducing and again increasing. Means under excited the armature current, normal excitation the armature current is minimum, over excitation, if it's going to the over excitation, the armature current again increases. So over excited synchronous motor operating leading power factor, under excited synchronous motor operating lagging power factor, normal excitation almost unity power factor. So if you draw the curve, you can get, observe here, IA. Take one load, no load ideally. No load ideally. Ideally means no losses. So in such case, as you're going on increasing the field current, this is the field current. So armature current is reducing to this point. So minimum armature current, this one, minimum armature current. And still if you're going on increasing, so armature current. Let us take at any load. Let us take at half load or full load. So let us take at half load. So as you going on increasing the field excitation, the armature current reduces. So minimum current occurs at UPF. Where? Here. The minimum current occurs at IA to UPF. Now, still if you going on increasing the excitation, now current increases like this. How the current increases? Here, observe here. The current, now current vector increases like this. We still increase the excitation, it will go like this. So, clear? Now remove the red marks. Now, this side, so lagging PF, and this side leading PF. At the center unity power factor, you can see at the center the minimum current occurs, whatever may be the loads, constant loads, minimum current occurs at unity power factor. This side lagging PF and this side leading PF. Similarly, correspondingly, if you draw power factor versus field current, power factor versus field current. So the curve. So as you going on increasing the excitation, observe the theta. Presently theta is here. Now theta is 0 here when it is in phase, and theta again increases. So the power factor will increases here. So maximum power factor occurs. Maximum power factor means cos 0, 1 in phase. When current and voltage are in phase, maximum power factor, because the angle is 0. So still if you going on increase the excitation, the power factor will reduces. And this side is a leading and this side is a lagging. So this side is a lagging PF and this side is a leading PF. So in brief, this is V curve. It is in a V shape. Observe here, V curve, and this is inverted V curve. Okay, so in brief, as you're going on increasing the excitation, the armature current is reducing. Still, if you're going on increasing the excitation, the armature current increases. The power factor decreases first and maximum go to the UPF and then decreases. The delta angle between the VT and EF reduces, then increases. So the locus of the EF you can see and the locus of the current you can see. So let us go to the next slide. So observe here, let us take when delta is 0. When delta is 0, when power is 0. Okay. So when power is 0, at this case, when power is 0, for a overexcited means EF is greater than VT. EF is greater than VT for overexcited. So let when delta is 0, so EF and VT are in phase. Observe here, EF and VT are in phase in all the time. EF and VT are in phase. Okay. So overexcited, let us take at most conditions VT and IA 90 degrees. Okay, VT and IA 90 degrees. So in this case, this is the leading PF 90 degrees, and this is lagging PF, and this is V curves for the synchronous motor. Let us see here. So IA leads VT 90 degrees. It is just like acting a pure capacitor. So in this case is a pure capacitor. So synchronous motor acts like a capacitor bank. And the second case, you can observe lagging PF. IA lags VT by 90 degrees. So it will just like a inductor. So the rotating synchronous motor will act like a just like a inductor. So synchronous motor acts like a just like a inductor bank. So when EF is lesser than VT, it will act like an inductor lagging PF. When EF is greater than VT, it will act like a capacitor leading PF. So this is what about V curves and inductor V curves. So if this is a motor case. If it is a generator case, what happens? Exactly reverse. Under the lagging side, leading. Under the leading side, lagging. If it is a generator case. Okay. So this is a generator, alternator. And a machine is acting like alternator or generator. So observe the vector diagram. So same, the procedure will be the same. This is overexcited, normalized, underexcited. Whereas underexcited is the leading PF. Observe the current is in the leading side. You can observe the current leading side. This is UPF, and this is lagging side. This is the locus of the current. Okay. So when you draw a curve for a alternator, for alternator V curves, so the leading this side and lagging this side, exactly reverse as in case of a motor. So unless if you ask in the examination, you have to answer synchronous motor V curves only. If you ask specifically for alternator, then you have to answer V curves of a alternator. If you ask synchronous motor, uh, if you ask synchronous machine V curves and inverter V curves, means you have to explain the motor V curves and inverter V curves. If you ask specifically alternator V curves and inverter V curves, means then you have to explain this one, this same procedure as I explained in the motor. So if you got any doubt, please free to contact me. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.